Welcome. We're going to take a look here at what is a short response. Our specific goals for today are to take a look at what is a short answer, what goes into a short answer, and how do we know if a short answer is any good. In terms of background information, you have certainly seen short answers in many places, including comments on the internet, sending emails, or taking a standardized test. Those are all places where we would see short responses. The term short response and short answer are the exact same thing. They are completely interchangeable. And a short response is a 1 to 3 paragraph answer to a writing prompt which addresses and answers that prompt directly. So when do we know that we should use a short response? So in school, you want to make sure that you're reading your assignment directions carefully. If the assignment asks you specifically for an essay or something else particular, then you need to write that. You need to write an essay if you're asked to write an essay. Typically, that's going to be a minimum of 5 paragraphs. If the answer asks for a short answer, short response, reflection, a response, or something along those lines, then that's where you're going to use this, which is the short response. So how does a short response begin? There are 2 different ways that you can do that. One way is to start off with hook or catch statements. Typically you're going to use 1 or 2 hook or catch statements. Those are intended to grab your reader's attention. Second possibility is to start off with a strong thesis statement, which is an arguable opinion that states the viewpoint being supported in that response. So you can start with the hook or you can start with the thesis. Hook statements. You have a few different options in terms of hook statements, what they might look like. That may be a rhetorical question, an interesting statistic, an anecdotal story, or a famous quotation. Those are all great ways of starting off that hook and starting your short response. Your other option is the thesis statement. This is your arguable opinion. It's not a statement of fact, it is an opinion. It states the viewpoint being supported in the response. So your entire response is all based upon this viewpoint. Very important. So then what follows after the thesis statement? Well, support will always follow after the thesis statement. Okay? So just like in an introduction paragraph or in the structure of an essay, you're going to start off with a hook at the beginning, then go to your thesis, then you go to your broad support, always finish up with a conclusion. Your paragraphs in a short response are going to look pretty similar to your paragraphs in an essay. And just like in an essay, a short response will attempt to support that thesis, and you have a variety of different ways to do this. You can include things like support, details, examples, evidence, quote, statistics, expert opinions. All of these things count. All of them are great for supporting your thesis. So how do you know how long that it should be? Well, if you're taking a standardized test like your state test or something along those lines, you want to fill up the lines that you're given. So for example, if you're given 10 lines to write on, their unspoken expectation is that you fill those 10 lines. Even if they have a little line in there that says, just write as much as you need. That's typically a trick. What they really want you to do is they're testing to see, are you going to fill those lines? If you're given a prompt for class, write as much as possible to include a very thorough explanation and defense of your thesis. Up to 3 paragraphs. Keep in mind, short response is 1 to 3 paragraphs. Let's take a look at an example here. With this one, what we've done is started off with the thesis statement. So this does not have a hook, starts off with the thesis. The paragraphs then have all of the support in the middle and follow, always ending off with a conclusion sentence at the end. So let's take a look at this example. Although many people believe that they are most efficient while multitasking, they are actually wasting time compared to those who focus on one activity to its completion. When people multitask, they feel like they are very busy, and they are, but they are not completing a lot of work, which is where the greatest problem comes into the situation. The human brain cannot focus on multiple activities at once, and because the attention is divided between these tasks, nothing is being done well and mistakes are made. Texting is a good example of multitasking gone wrong. While a driver is traveling down the highway at 75 miles an hour, listening to the radio, talking to the kids in the back seat, trying not to spill a precariously balanced latte, wondering what to make for dinner, a text comes in and so he balances the phone on top of the steering wheel to respond. Today, drivers commonly know that texting while driving is a recipe for disaster, as texting while driving is so distracting that it has the equivalent effect on a driver as drinking 4 beers. Multitasking is distracting and does not produce greater results than focusing on one task at a time. So we can see here from this example how exactly you can put just 2 paragraphs together that would respond to a prompt having to do with multitasking. So where are you going to use short answers? You'll see these in response to information that's online, and letters to the editor, standardized tests, and in emails and professional memos. All those places are places where you will see short answers. Questions students sometimes come up with: how is a short answer different from an essay? It's really just shorter. That's really the only difference there. It's just shorter, and oftentimes on a short answer you will not have a full conclusive paragraph. You'll have more of a strong conclusion sentence, but not necessarily an entire paragraph. Are short answers always organized the same way? Yes, pretty much they are. You want to start off with the introduction, then you want to go into the body. You always want to make sure that you have a strong thesis statement and that you're supporting that with facts. Can short answers be called other terms? Absolutely, and I think that this is the most confusing part about short answers, is sometimes they're called other things like reflections or short constructed responses or a variety of different things. So what are students expected to do? What students should do is understand what short answers are and how to construct them, be able to write well-organized short answers, write formal academic short answers for all kinds of assessments, including standardized tests. Students should be able to do these things. And at this point, what you should know and be able to do is to understand what a short answer is, know what goes into a short answer, and be able to evaluate a short answer for its quality. Be able to look at it and determine whether or not it's a good one. Hopefully this information is useful to your writing. Good luck to you.